always thought the most dangerous job was feeding The View. But you bring up God. You bring up God, and you've almost been killed twice. Do you think more about your own mortality and what happens after you move on?
Yeah, not about mortality, but I do think more about God because, okay, Butler was really the greatest of all miracles. If I'm not looking over there, and I mean a full turn, exactly 90 degrees, I wouldn't be here right now, and your ratings would be a little bit lower, perhaps.
Yeah. We'd have kill me there.
We have to tell the story of how we first met. The ratings over. Remember that one week he just played that thing, but and they set up this whole thing, and the interview lasted for 2.5 hours. Because we got along. We had an unbelievable chemistry. And I can honestly say, I really think, because I love what he says. He says, look, maybe he's not a nice guy, but he gets everything done. Would you rather have a nice guy where the country goes to hell? But I do. I get it done. And I think I'm a nice guy, too. I like to be a nice guy. And a woman is a woman, of course. Woman's always a woman, right?
We just found out, yeah.
No, but think about that. How smart. Who would do this? She sees somebody running, and she didn't like the way he looked. He looked very suspicious, and followed him and took the car, parked it right behind his, and started taking pictures of the license plate. Who would do that?
A Karen.
And then sent the picture to the sheriff, who's a great sheriff of Palm Beach County, and sent the pictures to the sheriff's office, and they got him in a high-speed chase down the highway.
Yeah.
But who would do that? I mean. I said, out of 1,000 incidents, would that ever happen? And they said, very rarely a thing like that. So she's very much of a heroine, right? Heroine.
Yeah. You know what?
But I do think about that because the chart, it was basically an immigration chart. We had our lowest numbers that we've ever had in immigration. And I very rarely use it, maybe 15, 20%. It's always on my left, and it's always at the end of a speech. So now I said, bring down the chart right at the very beginning, almost like the first sentence of the speech. Bring down that chart because immigration is such a big thing now with, you know, our country being basically taken over by Venezuela and lots of other people. So I said, bring down the chart, and the chart drops down, and I go, look at those numbers.
Have you just basically accepted this as a fact?
I think so, yeah. Look, the media is extremely dishonest, extremely corrupt, actually. Look at the debate. I walked off, I said, that's debate. You know, they said I'm the GOAT in debates, because I had a lot of debates, and I became president, and the GOAT means greatest of all time. He's a GOAT. But what a great stage. And I walked off that stage, and I thought I had the best debate. And I was very unfairly treated by the anchor. I'm not fans of those guys anymore.
Can I please ask a question, just because I'm never going to be allowed in a room with the president again?
Sure.
Are there aliens at Area 51?
You know, I'll tell you, it's a funny thing, because I think that might be a question that I get more than any question. It is the craziest thing. So we have that so-called area. They consider it like a sacred area. And I will say this. I don't think I'm a believer, but I've interviewed pilots that look, I like Tom Cruise, but better than Tom Cruise. The blonde crew cuts, the whole, and this. We have people coming from gangs, the worst gangs in the world, MS-13, considered the meanest gang. They cut people up. They don't want to use guns. They attacked two young 16-year-old beautiful girls walking to school. They cut them up with a knife. They didn't want to shoot them because it wasn't painful. They both died. And these people are coming out into our country.
I want to bring up, this is a friend of mine has this theory. He says that your campaign is like a pirate ship. You have this eclectic band of supporters that are individuals and different, but they're a pirate ship. But the issue with the pirate ship is every now and then you get a stowaway. So you get an odd person like a Scaramucci or an Amorosa. You know, it's like, when you have a pirate ship of all these different people, how do you have any kind of control? Or is that just the risk?
You say, look, Maybe he's not a nice guy, but he gets everything done. Would you rather have a nice guy where the country goes to hell? But I do. I get it done. And I think I'm a nice guy, too. I like to be a nice guy. But he did this interview. So, and I'm going to take total credit for the show, okay?
Yes.
No, credit almost equal to you guys. It was just chemistry. We got along incredibly well.
This is not a good thing to have practice at.
No.
Like, you're getting really good at stopping assassinations of Donald Trump. It's great. But I want to ask you, so Kamala Harris and the president, Joe Biden, if he's still president, we don't know. They called you after you were you got shot at and to wish you well, to say all these nice things.
They did.
But they're the same people that moments before say you're a threat to democracy, an existential threat, worse than Hitler. Does that mean that everything they say is full of?
Well, you know, both of the shooters, one is dead and the other one is in prison. And it was really great work, again, by Secret Service. And a woman who saw somebody running and running for the car because he was caught and the Secret Service agent started shooting at him, didn't do any talking, said just, that's a barrel of a gun, started shooting, which was amazing. That he saw it and then he started shooting.
Do you ever sunbathe?
I'll tell you this. I see Biden too. You know, all he had. Somebody told him he looks great at the beach in a bathing suit. And I think it's terrible when you see a president lying on the beach on a Tuesday and a Wednesday, and he's stone cold out. Well, you know, I went to work for my father out of school, and he was a tough guy, very tough. But he liked the job I did, so I have never experienced being fired. Fired a lot of people. Fired a lot of people on The Apprentice, but fired a lot of people. But no, I've never experienced it. I wouldn't like to experience it, actually.
Yeah, I was fired 3 times. So far.
Not anymore.
Yeah. Well,
you know, we had. It's true. He didn't treat me well at all.
I know. I saw him the whole time. I was like, look at this guy.
Early
He's so
on.
mean.
No, early on. And I actually met him once at Mar-a-Lago, I think. And I met you at the ballroom. They were doing a big charity. I said hello. I was very nice. But he never treated me well. She doesn't like doing interviews.
Yeah.
And she's not knowledgeable about economy and various things. And I think it would be a problem. But you know what? He was pretty much gone. They said, Joe, it's over. You're getting out. And he said, I'm not getting out. You're getting out. And they were very nasty, 25th Amendment and everything else. And I think eventually people are going to figure it out.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, the thing is, she's got the entire media doing PR for her. True. So it's like no one asks follow-up questions. No one bothers to fact check her.
She doesn't like doing interviews.
Yeah.
And she's not knowledgeable about economy and various things. And I think it would be a problem. But you know what? He was pretty much gone. They said, Joe, it's over. You're getting out. And he said, I'm not getting out. You're getting out. And they were very nasty, 25th Amendment and everything else. And I think eventually people are going to figure it out.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, the thing is, she's got the entire media doing PR for her. True. So it's like no one asks follow-up questions. No one bothers to fact check her.
She doesn't like doing interviews.
Yeah.
And she's not knowledgeable about economy and various things. And I think it would be a problem. But you know what? He was pretty much gone. They said, Joe, it's over. You're getting out. And he said, I'm not getting out. You're getting out. And they were very nasty, 25th Amendment and everything else. And I think eventually people are going to figure it out.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, the thing is, she's got the entire media doing PR for her. True. So it's like no one asks follow-up questions. No one bothers to fact check her. They want to be on top. I notice a lot of these guys, it's an emotional response to the fact that you're bigger, more well-known. Does that make sense?
Well, I know some of them. And like Howard, I was on Howard Stern's show as much as anybody. And he was great at that time. And then he went woke.
Yeah.
And since he's gone woke, his ratings have gone down the tubes. And he sort of went anti-Trump for a couple of reasons. But I was on his show a lot.
Yeah.
In fact, he has a best of. Did you ever see the best of Howard Stern? I don't want to promote it necessarily, but and I was there for just about all of them. The best of. We had good shows. He was good, but he's changed, and he doesn't do the ratings anymore.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't have to. He's almost finished. Kat, do you remember Howard Stern?
And they took a poll, and we got 60% in the poll in the Teamsters, and they're not going to support the Democrats this year. They're going to, I guess, remain neutral. But that was sort of a big event. Nobody's ever expected a thing like that to happen. They actually took a poll of the Teamsters, of the people, the workers, the people that really do the job, and they're good. I've had many of them work for me with the concrete stuff, the frames.
Yes.
That's amazing. It's amazing.
Because it happened right after.
Yeah, how did you get him to see the top of your ear?
Well, I sat in a low chair.
Okay, thank you.
But you know what? It was true. And I took the bandages off very carefully.
Yeah.
And I showed him. He said, "That's nasty."
Yes.
That was nasty. But
I
it healed
kind of
up.
wanted to touch it, but I knew I would have been
he didn't.
tackled. And I would have enjoyed it.